హలో. 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 ఇదొస్తుంది సార్. ఇది రా ఇప్పుడు ఇది కూడా వస్తుంది.
హలో, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ మ్యామ్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ రమేష్, వినిపిస్తుంది. నాది వినిపిస్తుందా?
వినిపిస్తుంది మ్యామ్.
ఓకే.
జూమ్ లైవ్ కూడా
Done.
పెట్టాను రాంబాబు సార్ గ్రూప్ లో.
ఇవాళ ఒకళ్ళది పీపీటీ కూడా నేనే ప్రెజెంట్ చేయాలంట. 10 o'clock కదా షెడ్యూల్ మనకు అసలు. ఓ ఈ 10 o'clock అయిందే నేను ప్రెజెంట్ చేస్తాను పీపీటీ అయితే.
రిపీట్ అవుతుంది. ఆపేసాను.
సుధీర్ సార్ ఒకసారి పీపీటీ షేర్ అవుతుందో లేదో చెక్ చేయరా? కనిపిస్తుందా మీకు స్క్రీన్ మీద?
ఉందా?
ఓకే. ఓకే సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
స్లైడ్ షో పెట్టండి. యాహ్! వర్కింగ్.
ఓకే. ఓకే సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, sir. So, how's the climate there, sir?
Oh, it's still like raining and
Oh,
it's
yes, we will start in a minute, sir.
okay. All right. It sounds great.
Check. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Pawan Jain Garu, Associate Professor and Interim Chair, VCU, Virginia, to you all. Dr. Pawan Jain is an esteemed academician and practitioner in the fields of finance and instructional design and technology. He holds dual PhD degrees, one in finance from the University of Memphis and another in instructional design and technology from the University of Wyoming. Additionally, Dr. Jain is a chartered financial analyst, a certified financial planner, and a blockchain expert certified by the American Institute of CPAs. Dr. Jain's scholarly contributions are prominent with numerous articles published in leading finance and real estate journals, including the Journal of Corporate Finance, Journal of Financial Markets, Financial Management, and the Journal of Real Estate Finance and Economics. His research has garnered several awards and honors, reflecting his commitment to high-quality scholarship and impactful teaching. A sought-after speaker, Dr. Jain has presented over 200 times at professional meetings, has been invited to share his expertise at prestigious business schools such as the University of Mississippi, Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, Kolkata, and Indore. He also presented at Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies, Worcester Polytechnic Institute, University of Wyoming, University of Memphis, and Marquette University. His research on stock market regulations, blockchain, and high-frequency trading has also been featured in popular media, and he has been interviewed by many news channels for his insights. Dr. Jain's expertise has led to invitations from prominent regulatory bodies and institutions, including the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, National Association of Real Estate Investment Trusts, Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, Reserve Bank of India, and the National Stock Exchange of India. He has also served on the state of Wyoming's blockchain coalition. Beyond his research, Dr. Jain is renowned for his exceptional teaching. Since 2005, he has taught online, inspiring and challenging students to pursue their passions and strive for excellence in their fields. His commitment extends beyond the classroom as he actively engages students in global events and competitions, helping them translate academic knowledge into real-world success and secure top employment opportunities. Sir, it is indeed an honor to have you here on this occasion. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Pawan Jain Garu to give the keynote address.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this conference, and it's a pleasure to be here. Um, let's see, I shared the slides. It should be right there. So, I mean, true to the theme of the conference, I thought I'll sort of discuss some of the things that are happening in the blockchain space, some of the projects that I have been involved with, and then sort of leave some time for questions, sort of create some kind of intriguing environment where it might influence some of your thought process as you're looking for future, specifically future idea about like where the research in this area is headed. So let me start by sort of giving you some background on how the current financial system looks like, which is like, it's pretty much known to everyone. And I assume like everyone in the room has sort of experienced a lot of these inefficiencies that exist in the traditional financial markets, where there are so many intermediaries that makes the market so inefficient. And this creates this cost that every intermediary puts to the system. Like, for example, when you go to the bank, like in the United States, the interest rate that you might get from your savings account is about, let's say, 2%, versus if you go try to take a loan, let's say buy a home or a car, then it might cost you about 8%. that spread of the 6%, and which is true across different countries, there's always this spread between the interest rate that the bank is going to give you on the savings versus they're going to charge on the loans. And that spread is because the major service that the bank provides, in my opinion, is this trust. Because the investors don't trust the borrowers, and vice versa, borrowers generally don't trust the investors that they will follow through with their promise of giving the money. They generally trust a third party, which is the intermediary bank. Now, how does the decentralized finance looks like is the second picture here, where there's no intermediary. I mean, all of a sudden, if you take the bank out of the system or any financial intermediation services from the system, then what happens is that spread between 2% interest rate on savings and 8% on the borrowing cost, kind of that spread continues to decline. And let's say in the end, maybe the investors and borrowers meet on blockchain and they might agree on some interest rate of 4%. So borrower is better off because he has to pay 4% less on the borrowing cost, and the investors is better off because they get 2% more on their investment. So this idea of decentralizing the entire financial system has kind of created a new revolution in this space. Next slide, let's move on to the main thing. What's triggered all of this was this introduction of this, people call it commodity, like in the US, it's like a commodity, versus some people sort of argue it's a currency, it's a Bitcoin, right? The price of Bitcoin has continued to sort of go up. Right now, it's about $61,000. That has created new interest in this space. But also, like if you look at the recent elections, I mean, if you have been tracking what's happening in the United States, both the presidential candidate like Trump and Kamala Harris have sort of argued that this is a space where we want to make progress. So one of the reasons why the progress is not happening at the same pace as I would explain, like how exciting this field is because there is uncertainty at the federal level, or even in India. If you think about India, like the federal or central government does not have clear direction on how to sort of regulate this space, right? Because the central governments benefit from controlling the money supply, right? I mean, the way the interest rate goes up and down, that affects the supply of rupees or US dollars into the market space. And if let's say, if Bitcoin is the new currency, but the problem is Bitcoin is not controlled by the government, and hence that money supply cannot be affected the same way as US dollar or Indian rupees could be by changing the interest rate up and down, right? I know this probably is not a pure finance group, so I'm going to keep the financial details to the minimum, but just the idea is like, well, the government does not control the disintermediated money, which is like, for example, is a Bitcoin, and hence they're not really open to adapting a money they cannot control. And hence they're still debating, like, should we regulate it? And if we do, then what the regulation would look like. That's why this election in the United States is going to be very interesting and critical, because that will decide the future of this space going into into the next year and for the next 4 years. So we'll see what happens. But let me give you what goes on in the decentralized finance here in this picture right here. This is called like a smart contract. So rather than getting into a contract like a mortgage loan from the bank, and then the bank gets a contract with the person who's saving, like create a savings account, the investor. Here it's a disintermediation. So the borrowers would get directly a contract from the investors. And this would be written on a blockchain. More likely, it's like an Ethereum blockchain, right? So that provides as a computer of the computers. So that creates a record of this smart contract, and it has some triggering events. For example, the contract can say, like, well, the investor is going to pay the borrower 10 lakh rupees, and the borrower agrees to make periodic payments, for example, 12% interest per year, or 1% interest per month. So every month, 1% interest will be deducted from borrower's account and will be transferred to the investor's account. And then let's say the maturity of this contract is 5 years. So at the end of 5 years, there would be another triggering event, which would then transfer the entire 10 lakh rupees that the borrower initially borrowed from the investors back to the investor's account, right? So this is automatically settled. And so there's no room for any errors, any mistakes, because if the account does not have enough money, then the account will be liquidated, and the settlement will automatically happen. I'll show you another example in a little bit, but let me start off by offering you this broad overview of what a smart contract looks like. The another area that the smart contract is affecting is the area of insurance. Like if you think about in the United States, the insurance is required, I'm sure in India too, where the third-party insurance, like if I hit someone and damage someone's property, then I'm required to have that insurance that would then pay off this person whose property I damaged to sort of repair the property, right? So some of that is automatically like updating the prices depending on my driving habits. Sometimes my premium, the insurance premium goes up and down. If I'm over speeding, if I'm driving recklessly, then my insurance premium would be much higher than if I display like really good driving behavior, driving on speed limit, not hitting anything, not getting involved in an accident, and so forth. Here's another example of an insurance contract. I assume like some of you have traveled a few distance, right? I mean, you used the airplane and then came to this conference. Sometimes what happens is when we travel, we try to get a travel insurance. Especially it was true during the COVID era, where the airline industry was canceling the flight, or if someone got a COVID, they cannot travel. And so what do? I mean, you don't want to lose the money that you pay for the travel, like for the airline tickets and so forth. What if the flight gets delayed? So sometimes people get these insurance contracts. So let's say the ticket cost is 10,000 rupees. Then you pay another, let's say 500 rupees to get this insurance contract, which basically pays you off if the flight gets delayed, right? So right now what happens is it's a manual process. The flight gets delayed. Let's say you got into Hyderabad and the flight was delayed by 2 hours. You missed some part of your conference and you're trying to claim this insurance, right? So right now what you do, you call the insurance number and you wait, first of all, maybe a couple hours to talk to an agent. The agent then gives you like all kinds of excuses why you cannot get paid and whatnot. And then frustrated, you just give up. You're like, well, I'm not going to worry about this insurance contract. I'll forget about the flight delays and just move on. Now, in this kind of situation, if it was a smart contract, there are only 2 triggering events, right? The first one is, did you pay for insurance, right? Did the premium was being paid and you got this insurance contract? That's the first condition. And the second condition is, was the flight actually delayed? And if both conditions meet, the payment is automatically issued to the insurance holder, and everyone is happy, right? In the end, the payment needs to be issued because the flight was actually delayed and you actually bought this insurance, right? So that's what's happening in the insurance contract. Let's look at the next slide and I'll show you like what's happening in the real estate market. Kind of similar idea where you get into this smart contract era, where let's say in Hyderabad, like the property values are going off the roof, right? Especially in the high-tech city space, where there are all these technology companies are sort of buying these buildings and so forth. So let's say you want to sort of invest into commercial real estate into high-tech city. Now, some of these buildings are, I don't know, 50 crores, whatnot. So I don't have that kind of money to invest in a 50 crores in a building. But maybe I have, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. So rather than buying the entire building, maybe I'll buy a small office somewhere in the building, right? So based on my ownership, let's say if I own 1% of the building, then it would be recorded on the blockchain. Like, well, I own 1%, a small piece of that building. And then if the building generates, let's say, 10 lakh rupees per month in rent, then based on my ownership, I'll get 1% of that rent, right? So it's a smart contract, automatically executed and whatnot. But now let's say I want to sell a part of my ownership, but I don't own the entire building. I only own 1% of the building. So how would I sell it? Now that's where the tokenization, this idea of tokenization comes in. So my ownership of that 1% of the building is recorded as a real estate token, which then is traded on the secondary market. Like I can trade those tokens on Coinbase or some other places. And so not only I can trade my ownership, but I can also trade the earnings that I do. So it can be broken down into like your rental income versus your ownership. You can trade out rental income. You can also trade out your ownership. You can still have the claim of the rental income because these are two different smart contracts, right? So again, there's things going on. Can you please like be on the previous slide? I think moved away from. Can you go back to the previous slide, please? Yeah, they're right there. So this is an example I want to share from like Andhra Pradesh government. Like right before COVID, Andhra Pradesh government started experimenting this pilot project where they started recording the land ownership or land registry onto blockchain. The idea was like, well, and especially it was triggered by a lot of suicide, the increase in suicide rates in farmers. That was because the farmers own the piece of property in principle, but not on piece of paper. So they didn't have ownership papers to show to the bank, because in India, as you might know, a lot of these farmers are dependent on rains, on some natural sort of resources for farming. And if there are no rains in a given year, then it's difficult for them to survive because, first of all, they are very small farmers. The land was sort of trickled down in the family, and now they own a very small piece of property. And so all they have is this land, but the problem is they cannot sort of show that they own this land. So the bank is not going to give them a loan, which they need to survive during a bad year. And so when they don't have money, then the suicide rate was continuing to going up. And so Andhra Pradesh government basically thought like, well, why don't we sort of deal with this issue and put things on blockchain? And what will happen is next time when the land is transferred, it automatically keeps track of it, and all the history is on blockchain. Now this project, I mean, last I checked, was kind of on a hold. Again, the problem was like how the blockchain still need the original data. If the original data is corrupted, then the entire blockchain is corrupted in some ways, right? And so the government has been trying to find how we can truly get this ownership data, the provenance of who owns the land and whatnot. Once they have the baseline data, then the future would be easier, because then we have all the records. Right now, the records are all in someone's brain, right? And the older folks who have seen the land, who have seen their forefathers sort of doing farming on these lands, and then they know their family history and whatnot, right? But now with the banking getting more and more concentrated, getting out of these smaller towns, it becomes really difficult to keep track of who owns what, right? And hence putting it on blockchain is very important. And I think this will be very critical as we move forward. Next slide, please. So now here I'll show you like how decentralized financial market looks like. Now there's no true numbers because most of these markets are operating in an unregulated space. But these are the best numbers that are out there right now. But my guess is the market is much bigger than this. Current market value for the decentralized finance is about $46 billion. It's supposed to go up to almost $80 billion by 2029. But I still, I think the growth rate would depend on the clarity by the federal government. If the federal government comes out next year and says, well, we are going to sort of approve most of these and they are valid contracts, the smart contracts, and we give them approval, the market might skyrocket and some of these currencies might go up significantly. But if the government comes out and says, well, we are not certain about this space and we're not going to give any regulation, we're still going to watch, and that would not be such great news, and the market may sort of either sort of go on a flat line or may decline a little bit, right? So it depends on the take of the government. But if you look at the current market size is this estimated by these Marder Intelligence report is about $47 billion. The annual growth rate in this space is anticipated to be about 11%, which is not bad given the economic conditions, right? The fastest growing market is North America, but the largest market is Asia Pacific, and I'll break it down into different countries in the next slide. The major players in this space is like the MakerDAO, and the compound finance and Aave and all of these protocols. I'll discuss this as well in the next few slides. But if you look at this slide here, India seems to be the leading country in the Asia Pacific region on this cryptocurrency adoption. Like how many people? Like about 28%. That's huge. It's a big chunk of population. If you remember back in, I think right around the last election, not this one, but like in 2019, the government came out and banned Bitcoin. But then the Supreme Court decided against it in India. And so the Bitcoin is not banned in India anymore. It was banned for a period of time, but then there was a Supreme Court case, and Supreme Court came out and said, well, you cannot ban any cryptocurrencies in India. And so with that kind of like almost 25%, more than 25% of the population having some exposure to cryptocurrency, it's going to be very difficult for the federal government to come out and do anything. Like central government cannot just come out and say, well, we don't give any status to cryptocurrencies. So it's going to be very interesting to see like how it, what sort of happens at the federal level. Next slide, please. So now I want to talk about some use cases. There have been a lot of use cases in blockchain space. I think the major ones are like in agriculture field, and the reason being, I mean, next slide, please. If I before I get into the agriculture example, let me give you example of this MakerDAO, right? I mean, one of the issues, as I highlighted in the first slide, was this traditional finance, the intermediation, where the interest rate for when you borrow things are much higher than what you get on your savings. So then MakerDAO basically came out with this very simple idea of, well, we'll provide a blockchain space where the borrowers and the investors can meet, right? And the interest rate would be much lower. So when it started, the interest rate they charges was like about 0.5%. When the actual interest rate, if you go to the bank, you would end up paying like 7% of the commercial rate. Versus if you borrow from MakerDAO, you were getting only 0.5%. So how does it work? So basically, they have a stable currency. The stable currency is one that does not vary significantly with the market condition. It has a very stable rate. It reduces the volatility in the market space, which is very important. Like for the growth of this market, it's very important to have these stable currencies, because the businesses, let's say you are in the business of a dairy product, right? You're selling milk or whatever. You're not in the business of cryptocurrency. So if you use cryptocurrencies to fund your dairy business, then you're not only affected by the fluctuation in the dairy market, but you're also affected by the fluctuation in the cryptocurrency market. So if we can somehow suppress that cryptocurrency fluctuation, then the dairy product, the person who's sort of selling dairy products, would be sort of interested in using some of these cryptocurrencies, because they don't fluctuate as wildly as, let's say, Bitcoin, which is not a stable currency. So what DAO did, this MakerDAO, which is MakerDAO, is basically, DAO means decentralized autonomous organization. They came up with this idea, well, we'll come up with a stable currency, which is a DAI, D-A-I. DAI is their stable currency, which is for every dollar you get one DAI. So that's their exchange rate. You give me a DAI, I'll give you $1, or you give me $1, I'll give you a DAI, right? So that's their exchange rate. Now, when you want to buy DAI on MakerDAO protocol, then what happens is you have to submit, you have to input the currency they accept is not US dollars or Indian rupees. The only thing they accept is Ethereum. And you need 200, like 2%, twice 200% of the value you want to borrow. So if I want to borrow, like in this example, 1,000 DAI coins, I have to put in 2,000 Ethereums, right? And then I'll get $2,000 worth of Ethereums. Then I'll get $1,000 worth of DAI, which is basically 1,000 DAIs, right? And then the reason being this is 2% because Ethereum market is not stable. It's very volatile, and hence in this volatile market you need twice the collateral, right? So then what happens when you repay the debt? You have to pay that 1,000 DAI, and then plus, let's say, the interest rate, whatever the interest rate you charge. In this example, it was like 2%, I believe. Then you pay $20 or 20 DAI into the. So you give the original 1,000 DAI you borrowed plus 20 DAI in the interest rate, back to the MakerDAO protocol, and then MakerDAO releases your 1 Ethereum back to you, right? And let's say what happens if the price of Ethereum goes down. Now I said like you need 200% of the value in collateral, but let's say Ethereum price in the last section of this slide, the Ethereum price went down to 1400 instead of 2000. 2000 was 2%, like 200% of what you bought, but now it's only 140% left. So now either you put in more Ethereum into the market, into this protocol, or the protocol will automatically trigger a liquidation of collateral. So what will happen is they will still charge 20 DAI as the interest and 1,000 DAI that you initially borrowed, right? But then there's also a penalty of 133 DAI because they are liquidating this position for you because you did not put in the extra money needed for collateral. It's just like when you have this margin accounts in the stock market and you don't sort of satisfy the margin calls, then you get charged some of the penalties and interest rate, right? So the exact same thing happens here. So you get to pay the original amount that you owe plus the interest rate plus the penalty, right? You put that into the DAO protocol, and then they just sell your Ethereum into the open market and satisfy that $1,000 that the loan that you got, and the rest goes back to you, which in this case is 0.176 Ethereum, right? So again, a simple kind of a model where they're satisfying this this idea of well, we are going to disintermediate this marketplace. So there's no intermediary deciding what the penalty and what the interest rate should be. It's decided by this protocol. So in MakerDAO or the MakerDAO, there are two kinds of coin. The first one is the coin, which is DAI, right? So that's deciding how much money you want to borrow. That's a stable coin. The second coin is called the Maker coin, which is basically a governance coin. So who gets to decide what interest rate to charge? Who gets to decide 0.5% or 2% or 5%? That's decided by these Maker coin owners. These are just the governance owners, right? So then they vote together, and 50%, more than 50% of the entire network that says, well, it should be 2%, and that becomes the interest rate, right? And so it's a completely decentralized system with even the governance is completely decentralized. There's no CEO, there's no CFO, there's no structuring here. It's owned by everyone who is part of this DAO platform, MakerDAO platform, right? So very interesting application. Again, the new applications are coming out. Here's an example like of the impact in the agriculture industry. Like especially in India, like it's very critical because the agriculture industry is the backbone of the economy. Not only, I mean, it's very important because that's how we get our food, right? But the problem is it has so many challenges and inefficiencies. And they range from like supply chain issues to lack of transparency to like in my example of Andhra Pradesh government trying to put land registry on the blockchain is because there's no financial stability for these farmers to kind of operate in a more stable environment. So what happens is blockchain could provide a promising solution. We already saw like, well, land registry could be a way to deal with it. But what happens at the consumer rate, right? I mean, so you go to a restaurant, you buy, you order some food, let's say, I don't know, some naan and some paneer, right? So how do you know where the paneer is coming from? Like, is it organic, as they sort of claim? Some of the restaurants claim that we source it from like really organic produce and whatnot. But how do you know as a consumer? You're blindly trusting what the seller is trying to sell you. But if you put things on blockchain, then it also improves the traceability of this product. So the big company here, right, in my slide here is the IBM, right? IBM and Walmart got together, I believe, back in 2017, and it was called the Mango Project. And so Walmart CEO basically gave IBM this mango and said, well, can you trace it back to the tree where this mango was picked from? And they were able to do that. Since then, they have started a company called IBM Food Trust, and they have been tracking every single food produced that's being sold in Walmart from basically the entire journey, from farm to the consumer. They track the entire supply chain. And this helps Walmart in identifying contaminated food. For example, if one particular lot, like E. coli, was a big problem, so like spinach, may have some kind of a bacteria in there. Now, not all spinach is bad. Maybe a spinach from farm X is bad, but in olden times, they have to take out entire spinach, and then they have to look at the tags, and sort of separate the ones that has this infected, diseased product versus the ones that were not diseased. So, like onion was I think in India was the example where or some other product, I can't remember, but there was a produce that was infected and then it was taken out of the market, the price goes up, and then the consumer is not happy about it, right? And so by putting it on blockchain, now all Walmart does is look at which Walmart is having this E. coli infected spinach, and then look at the batch number, and just completely wipe out of the entire Walmart system within like few minutes, right? So it's useful for identifying contaminated food sources, and the contamination could happen at any place. It could be at the farm, it could be during the transportation, it could be during the storage, it could be when it got into the warehouse of Walmart. So we don't know. But by tracking the entire supply chain, putting on blockchain, it actually helps us identify at least the contaminated food and taking it out all from all the Walmart stores. Then there's another company called Provenance, which basically tracks like the farming practices. How do we know if the food is not does not have pesticides, right? So what they do is some of the companies now started flying drones at random times over the farms. So like a farm owner could become a part of Provenance group and say, well, can you certify my food as a kind of organic food? So the drones would fly at random times, and they will record the data. And if they ever see any pesticide being spent, they will take the sample like in real time, not real actual physical sample, but pictures. And based on that, they would do some analysis, and they will get the temperature of the soil, they'll get the moisture, they'll get what kind of composition, the soil composition, and so forth. And they can find if the farmer has been using pesticides or not. And they have not been using pesticides, then what they do is they create a QR code that's then linked to your product, and a consumer can scan the QR code and actually see all those footage, like where the food is coming from and how it's being sort of grown into the farmer space. The other problem I told you, like it was the financial instability of these farmers. There are companies like GrainChain or sort of Ripe.io, right? Some of these companies are sort of providing this disintermediation service where, again, the investors are sort of investing directly into the agriculture field without the need of a bank. So they don't really need an intermediary to sort of take advantage of these poor farmers. If they need the money, you have the investors, they get connected directly on blockchain. And the other thing is how, as a consumer, let's say you buy apple or any other fruit, let's say mango, into this from the marketplace. How do you know how long? What's the length of that product, right? How long can you store it in your house? How long can you have to consume that product? Right. So again, Ripe.com is sort of .io. It's sort of tracking that for you. What day was it picked from the plant? And they have all the data from the past, and using AI, they know like on this day, if the product like mango is picked from the tree, it has maybe a week before it gets bad. So if you again scan this QR code, you'll get the information on the day it was picked and what is the life of that mango. And if it's towards the end of the life, you'll know as a consumer, like, well, this was picked 10 days ago, and it says the average life of a mango is a 7-day phase. So this probably, it's not good because you cannot see what's inside the product, right? And so there's a lot of things happening in this agriculture space. These are already in process. These are already use cases. These are not something that I'm proposing there's new solution. They're already happening. Things are moving this direction, and it's exciting time. Let's move on to the next slide, and I'll show you like what I'm doing. So this one is a project that I've been working on recently. It's about this idea of parking spaces, right? So when COVID happened, all of a sudden the parking lots, the roads were all empty because no one was driving. Everyone was working from home. Then we came after COVID. After COVID, the biggest problem was people did not trust the public transport anymore, because that's how the virus was spread, is because you were in this closed contact with the people that were infected. And so in the United States, what happened was now there's more pressure on the roads, but even a bigger pressure on these parking lots, which I mean, the government not put a lot of money into these infrastructures. So how do you deal with this issue, right? I mean, so this is where we are working with the US Department of Transportation, trying to find a solution. And one of the proposed solution, if you go to the next slide, I would tell you, like, we are presenting this green environmental smart transportation system, where we would have this GEST, which is the short form for green environmental smart transportation, right? So we'll have a GEST coin, right? And it would put all the records of your driving behavior onto blockchain. For example, this on the left-hand side, if you see, there are 4 kinds of commuters. Commuter is basically someone who has to commute to work, right? So you work, let's say, in Hyderabad, you're staying in Himayatnagar, but you have to go to work in high-tech city. So are you driving? If you're driving, then you pay the premium price. You'll get the parking. Here in our system, it would actually give you a flag, like, well, the parking lot number in this green lot, the number 20 is empty, and that belongs to you. Before you start driving from your house, you can actually lock that parking lot, that parking space, and that now belongs to you. But then you'll be charged some premium. Let's say in the normal times, like when there's no rush hour, you pay 100 rupees per hour for parking. But if you go during the peak hours, maybe you'll be charged 150 rupees for parking. That 50 rupees, right now, it goes to the parking lot. But in our new system, the 50 rupees is then going to be sort of redistributed among the group of commuters who decide to take either public transportation or carpool or just walk or bike. For example, you may have a friend who wants to go to the same place, basically work in the high-tech city. So you can decide, well, why don't we just ride together, right? And then rather than driving 2 cars, we'll just drive 1 car. Not only reduces the traffic, but also it resolves this issue of finding a parking space. If you do that, you might get a better prices, right? Then you can trade your parking. Let's say you have to go only for 1 hour during the day. Like, well, I have some important meeting. I just need to be there from 9 to 10 a.m. and that's it. So then you can just lock your parking spot for just 1 hour, and the system would then open it and then try to sell it in the open market. But if it's sold, then you don't pay for the entire day of parking. You just pay. And all of this is happening without any intermediation. There is no person sitting in the parking lot trying to pay for or charge you for the money. It's automatically done. It's automatically deducted because these are all smart contracts. So as soon as you say, well, I want a parking space, then you get into a smart contract between yourself and this Jest blockchain system. And so the Jest is going to charge you for that parking space $150, 150 rupees for 1 hour of parking. And then your account would be debited. Basically, you would end up paying $150 to the Jest blockchain system. But then your parking lot is reserved. No one else can park on that system unless you go in and you get the code and you can have the green light to park in this space, right? And now there could be different ways. So here's an example of how, like, it can vary if you drive, if you walk, or if you use public transport. Depending on differences of your way to commute, we could have a different way of rewarding you, right? So for example, if someone who decides to walk and bike, that's the greenest route, right? That's what we want to promote. And if you want to promote that, we can give more Jest coins to these kind of commuters. So remember, I told you, like, that $50 rupees we charge on excess. So that 50 rupees is then going to go, like, some part of it going to go to the person who decide to walk or take or ride a bike. They might get, let's say, 20 rupees on a given day. Like, well, since you decided to bike or walk, we're going to give you 20 rupees. The others may decide to take public transport. I'll use the metro, or I'll use the bus or whatever. And depending on how do you use the system, we would basically give you a different kind of a reward. And all of this data is then available for the government to redesign this process. So all of this data that we are going to collect for the first year, we're going to redesign. We're going to say, like, well, all right, what are the major areas where we need to, where this system has been very active? What are the major demographics that are using? Is it the older folks? Is it the younger folks? Is it the females? Is it the males? And then And then what are the kind of work group they belong to? Is it like the teachers? Are these the software workers, or is it like a government employee, and so forth? All of that data is then going to decide how we redesign this process, right? So that's, again, this is happening with the government did not want to invest any money into new organization. We don't want anyone to track this, but here it's automatically being tracked on blockchain. Then it creates this gamification idea. Like, well, I'm going to, in the end, what our goal is, let's say in high-tech city, we have Microsoft, we have Apple office, right? I mean, Cisco. We can then start sort of giving rewards to these companies. Well, if your 90% of your employees are using this Jest coin, and they have a good balance of the Jest coin, they get a different kind of reward. So we will just have this game which can be played between these different companies, and they want to show like they're more green, right, in the end, because their employees are not driving. Their employees are using public transport, or using a walk or bike to work. And depending on that, they not only get the reward, but they also get some recognition from the company, like, well, you're the Jest winner for this year and whatnot. Right, next slide, please. So again, here we can also in the real time change the system. Like basically, let's say a lot of people are using bus, but let's say we want to promote the subways, right? I mean, let's say all of a sudden people got interested in this game, and then they decided not to drive, but then a lot more pressure is put on the bus system. We don't want that either. So then we can change the reward. So if you use the bus, maybe you'll get 5 Jest coin. But if you take the subway or a train, you might get 20 Jest coins. So then we are going to direct the traffic towards that direction, and depending on the amount of burden that's being put on this public transportation system, right? So you get more control by putting this on blockchain, and without the need of intermediation. Some of this could be automatically programmed. So we could have a program that says if the pressure on the buses goes up beyond, let's say, 80%, then start reducing that reward and increase the reward for the train and subway, right? Now, if both of them are equally, let's say, have the pressure of 60 and 60, then maybe we want to promote walk and bike. Or in some cases, driving may be beneficial. So the system would automatically calculate in real time which one is beneficial to the environment, to the user, and to the net infrastructure providers. Then they would decide the rewards that each of these would have, or the cost to park would again all be decided based on the data which comes in every millisecond. All right, next slide, please. So here I would like to give you some time to ask questions. I know I'm running like towards the end of my session, but I'm really excited about this space. There was a time like in 2021, you might have heard like there's virtual lands that being sold, this metaverse, the idea of metaverse. That was exciting to me because see, there was a technology that came like there was internet first, right? The problem with the internet was like someone would have to put in, which was called Web 1.0, whatever you want to call it. But someone like let's say Microsoft would put in a Word document, which you can then read, but there was no way for you to interact, right? I cannot just interact with any document that was provided by Web 1.0. But then Web 2.0, which sort of brought in Facebook, which brought in LinkedIn, all these social media, which then created this idea that, well, now I can not only produce my own document, but I can interact with the documents that are provided by other third parties, right? So this idea of metaverse was sort of coined as Web 3.0, where right now what happens in Web 2.0 is there's still an intermediary like a Facebook, a Google, or like we are chatting through this this messenger services, right? But these are all intermediaries. What if we can have a Google Hangout without Google, right? We can completely take out the intermediary. That would be great, right? Because then I would own the video that I post on YouTube, right? Right now, Google gets to decide if they want to delete my video, my account, they can do it anytime they want to. But if it's on a decentralized platform or Web 3.0 technology like a metaverse, then that would not have been possible. Also, think about all these different blockchains I talked about today. they're all operating in the silos. Like the blockchain I'm proposing for, let's say, the Department of Transportation is not going to talk to the Maker DAO blockchain, right? But this in Web 3.0 system, all of these blockchain would be interconnected. We'll get not only the information from them, but what if the user is also on MakerDAO? We'll get to provide them some benefits, right? So all of this this was exciting, and Facebook in fact changed their name to Meta in 2021. So things were exciting, but then that metaverse discussion pretty much died so far. But my feeling is it's going to come back, and then we might see some more activity in the metaverse space. But then there's a lot of other stuff going on in decentralized finance. As he said, the interest rate continues to go up, which is a good sign for some of these platforms, because they can then really reduce the cost of capital for major corporations by disintermediating some of these financial products. Well, I'll stop here, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to me. And again, as I said, I'm really excited to see what this space have to offer in the near future.
Good morning, sir. So I have a question like, how can we audit smart contracts to prevent bugs or vulnerabilities in the system?
Yeah,
My
that's a good
question.
question, and
Yeah.
that has been a debate as well. Like the regulators are sort of wondering about that too. Now there are companies that have started, like for example, the Boston Consulting Group, and I believe the other these consulting companies like Deloitte. They have invested resources towards ways to identify some of these systems. Now, the one of the issues that would appear in the future is when the complete decentralization happens. Like, for example, with the Bitcoin blockchain, there's no way to audit this unless you are going to do it for free. The reason I say that is it's a completely decentralized platform. No one owns the Bitcoin platform. So who would you go to say, well, I want to audit this system, or I see issues with this system and I need to shut down some of those things? They have done it in the past, like for the example, government back in 2013, or even I think 2011, when the Silk Road sort of came out from the dark web. Then the government basically came out and said, well, some of the Bitcoin is being used for drug dealership, for trading drugs, and so we are going to block just those Bitcoins. And those Bitcoins were taken out of this system, and they don't exist anymore. So some of the audit would be a challenge, but I think that could be incorporated within the program. So when you come up with your blockchain system, even if it's a complete decentralized platform, you could have a provision where it says like, well, we would have a audit company that will come in and audit, and by definition, by default, the blockchain is going to issue some of the coins. Like in our case, in our Jest coin, we're going to issue some of the Jest coins to the auditor at the end of the year, no matter what. Although no one owns the blockchain, because of the service provisions, the blockchain itself is growing in this space. And when they grow, they would have resources that then can be allocated programmatically. We'll program it upfront with this idea that, well, we need to audit these system on a periodic basis, so that first they are current and they don't attract any bad players, right?
So any question, like recently we had an issue with the NEET exam. How do you think a blockchain fits into those, to avoid such sort of problems?
Yeah, so that's a very good example. So for what happened, let's say, I mean, you have to break down the system. Again, the problem was one point of failure, right? There was one person who probably may have access to these questions, let's say, and they wanted to take advantage of that. And hence, it's like a server attack, right? Let's say you have money in your bank, and there's only one point of failure where the server owns all the information that's needed. It's just held at one place. So what happens if someone sort of attacks, like cyber attack happens, and that server is then hacked? Then all of the information is available to the hacker. Versus if you think about, let's say, and then they can modify the system, right? Now, if you think about a blockchain-based system, how is it cyber like attack proof? Is because that information, there are two ways here. First one is the information itself can be decentralized rather than providing one source of failure. Or let's say in the NEET example question, maybe we don't really need to have the question placed at one source, right? We can break down the question paper and maybe distribute it, encrypt it, and distribute it across different networks. And then when the exam is live, all of that network comes together, and then the question paper is then issued in the new format. So even if someone hacks one of the system, they don't get the information that they need because it's kind of held at different places. The second thing is, which is more common, which is how the blockchain is resolving the issue, is not so much about this question paper scenario, because that one was a unique situation. But what if, let's say, someone steals the question paper, then changes the questions, and then uploads a new question paper into the system? That could also happen if there's only one point of failure, like a government website that sort of monitors all of this thing. They keep the question paper on their computer, and all a hacker does is like take the question paper out, replace it with a new one. Now, in this case, the blockchain can help because, again, the question paper sits on all these different stakeholders' website. So then they match the question paper, say, well, it's not the same because I have the ledger. I know what the questions were being put in. You know some of the questions and so forth. And so when we combine all of this together, it does not match with the actual question we released. So it's going to give the red flag. So they can have two solutions where, as I said, one is the solution where the question paper is replaced, easy fix. We can easily fix that with the blockchain. The second one is avoid stealing. That could be avoided if you distribute the question paper across, let's say, 10,000 different computers. Then you have to hack those 10,000 computers to make sense of that question paper. It's not feasible at that point in time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pavan Jain. It's been a great honor for us, great sort of knowledge transfer for all of us. And thank you for joining at odd time. For you, it is probably, but thank you so much, sir, for honoring us with this. Have a nice
Well,
day.
thank you. It has been a pleasure. And I visited your institution. It is one of the best institutions I visited in India. And I visited a number of those institutions in India, as you might see. But it was a pleasure interacting with the students. Well, you guys have a great conference, and thank you again for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. And actually, we are looking forward for the set of problem statements for which the students can start working on for 1 year long as part of the MOU we had. So we will definitely wait for those questions, and our students will start working on that.
It sounds great. We should discuss that offline if there's a
Thank you
ball
so much,
that will
sir.
stop.
Thank
Thanks.
you. And a good night for you.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah.
We will start in a minute, sir.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning once again. Let me take the honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Sri Ganesh Garu to you all. Dr. Sri Ganesh Garu is a professor in computer science and data science at SRH Berlin University of Applied Sciences in Berlin, Germany, where he has been teaching since March 2020. He lectures on various subjects including profiling big data, natural language processing, applied research, digital humanities, and case studies in both industrial and research contexts. His research focuses on AI and natural language processing, data science, semantic web, digital technology, data curation in distributed architectures, and automated feature engineering. In addition to his role at SRH Berlin, Dr. Ganesh Garu serves as an adjunct professor at IIT Jodhpur, specializing in data science and the semantic web. He's passionate about teaching and is dedicated to guiding and motivating students, providing them with opportunities to apply their knowledge in real-world context through full-stack development for data science applications. Dr. Ganesh's academic journey is marked by several notable achievements, including ranking third in his bachelor's degree and achieving first rank with a gold medal in his master's degree. He has also received the Best Master's Thesis Award and held prestigious fellowships such as UGC JRF, SRF, DAAD Young Research Fellow, Erasmus Mundus Research Fellow, and Erasmus Mundus LOT 13 Fellow. Additionally, he is a founding member of DH India. His expertise spans big data management architectures and frameworks, adaptive software engineering frameworks, NLP, and machine learning, scientific workflow systems, workflow language interoperability, and other courses. Dr. Ganesh is also an Oracle Certified Associate, scoring 98%. He has multiple publications in leading conferences and journals and is recognized for his contributions to the fields of data science, Python, NLP, provenance, and scientific workflow systems. His work has solidified his reputation as a distinguished researcher and educator in this field. Sir, it is indeed an honor for us to have you here on this occasion, sir. And please join me in welcoming Dr. Sri Ganesh Garu to address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you very much for your introduction, and I really thank you for VNR College team for inviting me. So actually, I asked the organizers, is it possible to make this session a little bit interactive way? So let's try. If it is possible, we will do some kind of interesting questioning answers and maybe some knowledge sharing and knowledge exchange. So thank you very much for the invitation. So I hope you guys maybe get lunchtime. For us, it is morning. So I hope I don't make you boring. I will try to make it an interactive way. So let me share my screen. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, okay. It is in presentation mode, right? For you as well.
No, sir, it is not in slideshow.
It is in spreadsheet. Okay. Yeah, now it is in presentation mode.
Yeah, it's fine, sir. Now.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, guys. So let's start. This is actually a very interesting topic uh, where we can apply artificial intelligence for better society. So that's why I kept this title of this presentation, Crowdsourcing and Human Computation with AI for Better Society. So this is really a practical presentation. So we did some AI implementation towards some non-social elements. Yeah. So now everyone is talking about artificial intelligence. So before going to start, I would like to ask some students, what is AI? What is your understanding of AI? What we need to develop a good tools in our AI? Anyone? Are there anyone? Don't get angry that I am starting with questions.
Not at all, sir.
So,
Not at all.
yeah. What is AI? What is your definition of your own definition? Maybe. What is AI? I can't see anyone, so that's why I am asking. No one want to discuss? Okay. Can I continue? Can I continue? Are there anyone who would like to discuss something artificial intelligence and your anyone want to share your opinion about AI?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
My name,
Yeah. Your name?
I don't have an in-depth understanding, but what I understand is it's kind of like an autocomplete on steroids. Well, AI is
Uh-huh.
kind of predicting stuff, and it's really good at it. That is what I think is AI.
Okay. Is it really AI is really useful to society, or it is spoiling the human brain capacity?
Well, everything has a good and bad, and when used in the correct circumstances or in situations, it could be a good thing for human society.
Okay. Okay. So my other question: why you are doing your studies? I think I hope you are doing bachelor's.
Yes, sir.
So why? For what purpose? Don't say dowry. Okay. Why? Why you are doing your master's or bachelor's in computer science or some engineering? Why? What is the purpose?
Well, personally, I would like to understand how computers work. That was the initial motivation. Well, right
Mm-hmm.
now, there's a lot of things that I want to explore. Well, that
Mm-hmm.
is the reason I feel like I'm continuing right now. And the main thing is exploration for me. Why I would do
Explore.
bachelor's, and maybe there would be a better answer in the near future.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, exploration. Everything starts from exploration. Exploration is nothing but a research. Yeah. So a lot of people actually think. I mean, even in our university, we have Indian students. Whenever I'm starting my artificial intelligence 2 class, I used to ask, okay, why you are doing masters in Germany? Why you are doing artificial intelligence? Yeah, very good. This is the question I used to ask to students. Yeah. So remember, Vagan guys, actually. So there is maybe I think Pavan Kalyan movies song, Nalguriki. I am not sure. Is it Pavan Kalyan or someone? Okay.
Mahesh Babu, sir.
Nalguriki Nachindi and Akasle Nachudra, some song, right? I don't know. So
Yes,
in the
yes.
same way, remember one thing. Whenever, whatever you are doing, try to think like keep build your own path. Yeah, if you are doing BTech, everyone is doing in BTech. Yeah, in India there are lakhs of people who are doing BTech. So if you do the same way in BTech, okay, of course you will get maybe good grade and good certain something degree. Yeah, but how you are different from others? Yeah, this is actually very most important. Yeah, so second thing is always try to think, okay, if I am doing something, my BTech project or MTech project, at least can I contribute something to my village? Can I with this project, can I contribute at least something to my parents' profession? So otherwise, what is the use? Going to some company and doing a kind of slavery kind of job or something. So try to be unique by yourself. Yeah, AI is giving such kind of a scope. Yeah, this is actually, that's why I really want to motivate. I'm observing a lot of Indian students. Yeah, here also there's I have some students from whole India. So when I'm comparing foreign students and Indian students, the first they will ask, "Sir, can you give me some topic for my master thesis?" Don't ask like that. Yeah, when you are doing your BTech, observe the society. Hey, I am doing masters in computer science. Can I? There is a problem in the society. Can I give some solution for that? Is it possible with my computational knowledge? So think like that. Then you are going to be unique. Remember, big companies particularly, they don't see your grades and they don't see your marks. They will see how unique you are. Yeah, this is actually the thing I am talking about. Okay, so this is a simple presentation. I am going to introduce is about the topic crowdsourcing and social benefits, how we can uh, overcome some antisocial activities in the society with AI. Yeah. So even every human can work as a police in the society actually. Yeah. So for that we need some kind of digital governance. And actually there is a very interesting topic. I think a lot of people know semantic web and NLP application. If you combine semantic web in NLP, so we can do really wonders. So after that, I will show you some kind of demos and conclusion. And the main purpose of this talk is, maybe you may not get all the concept at the same time, but I really want students, younger generation, get motivation and contribute something to your society. At least contribute something with your master's thesis or bachelor thesis to your village, at least. Yeah. So that the main purpose. If any one student get motivation, I am very happy, and you can contact me. We have a lot of projects here. We are opening the internships and master thesis and bachelor thesis for different companies here in Germany as well. So that's it. Let's start with this one. I really encourage student, keep this guy as an ideal guy. Okay, don't ask me, sir, my Mac and iPhone, everything is very expensive. How this guy is very ideal? Yeah, but think about his quotation. There are a lot of dots, yeah, in the society. So we have to connect these dots to create, to bring the essence of artificial intelligence. If you are unique, yeah, everyone is doing masters, everyone is doing PhD. But if you are unique, if you contribute something, then you are the master in that one. Yeah. Steve Jobs, he knows Windows, he knows Linux, he knows the drawbacks in Windows, he knows the drawbacks in Linux, and he combined the both, created Apple. Yeah. So we are talking about, everyone is talking about AI and everything. I have a question, guys, actually. So if you want to run a vehicle, you need some fuel, right? So for the AI, we have a fuel which is called as data. So what is data? Anyone? Pick. Anyone? What is our understanding of data? What we are talking about data, right? So if you are doing any AI application, so people always talk about data. What is data? Okay, you don't want to ask, explain? Okay, let me show something. What is this? Yeah, if I ask it, anyone out there, what is this? 33.6.
It's
Okay,
some
then
data.
what is this? I can't say, are there any people? Okay, I heard some nothing sound.
Uh,
What is this?
Hello, sir. I'm
Yeah,
Prashant. I wanted to
yeah.
answer about what is data. Data is basically just a collection of information.
Oh,
It can
data is,
be
okay.
information about some population or some study you want to conduct. We basically
Uh-huh.
give it, we basically we feed the data to the AI to get like better answers or bring some conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. So you said one interesting statement. Data is collection of information. Okay. Are you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what is information? Yeah. Don't worry. It is good actually. Collection of information. Yeah. So let me give some kind of explanation. Yeah. So this is 33.6. What is it? 33.6. Is it a miles, meters, or maybe some student target to get dowry? 33.6. Okay, lakhs is very less, man, actually nowadays. Okay, so yeah, we don't know that. Yeah, this is actually a data, just like existed. But our student said that data is some kind of information. But here there is no information. It existed like that, right? 33.6. What is it? I don't know that. Yeah. So if I mention M, if I provide some kind of metadata, so what is metadata? Data about data. Then I can say that, okay, 33.6 meters, maybe miles, maybe millions or something else, right? Okay. So by providing metadata, you are converting data into information. If you have this data and information as a machine readable, then you can generate knowledge. By seeing this whale, we can say, yeah, the maximum length of the blue whale is 33.6 meters, which is less than that may not be a blue whale. Yeah, this is actually, you can make some kind of a conclusion, a algorithm, generalization of these things, right? Which is knowledge. So let's data is just raw. Data is not information. Yeah, data is just raw. Yeah. So whenever you are typing, how many people are using Facebook, man? How many accounts everyone has? One account only? Two accounts? So whenever you are using your Facebook, your Instagram, okay, whatever you are typing, it is just like a raw data. There is no use in that, right? So if we have to use the data to do some kind of interesting operations, yeah, to do some kind of uh, uh, to generate some kind of knowledge, yeah, is it possible? Like, okay, maybe you guys creating, I am sure you guys are very honest and genuine guys. Maybe some people maybe create fake accounts. Okay, is it possible to detect by seeing their posts? Is it possible to detect their whether it is a fake account or not? Yeah. Then to do that, we need to convert the raw data into information. From that, we can extract the knowledge. So data is, remember that data is not a information. Data is just like a raw. Okay. So then what is information? So if you ask such kind of a questions, when, where, what, you can generate, if it gives some kind of answer, then that is information. The next thing is knowledge. What is knowledge? A knowledge is actually a proper application of some information, right? If you know the information, if they take the information and apply in different kind of domains, and you can extract the knowledge. So my conclusion here is data transforms to information by convention. Yeah, what is convention? Yeah, you know, right? What conventional meaning. So data transformed to information by convention, information to knowledge by cognition, cognition. Once you bring the machine to the knowledge level, then the upper thing is wisdom. So you can bring the machine to think like a wisdom layer, like with the contemplation. This is, if you achieve at least up to knowledge level, I think you can achieve AI until 75 to 80%. If you machine think like in wisdom level, then no need of human. Actually, everything machine can do. Yeah. So like a Rajnikant Robo movie. Guys, now think about this pyramid, where we are. So in the world, so we are talking about data, right? So in the world, we have many languages. So is it possible to bring all the languages data? I'm saying languages, that means human language, not computer language. So everyone is using their own mother tongues or generating some data. Is it possible to bring all the languages at one platform and bring the machine to understand all the languages and think at least from, machine should think from knowledge level or the wisdom level. What will happen after that? So remember, here my point is, without natural language processing, without human language understanding, it is highly impossible to achieve a better AI. Yeah. So can you imagine without human language? Can you imagine the human evaluation? It is highly difficult. Yeah. It may be possible, but highly difficult. In the same way, if you don't have proper NLP, yeah, so machine can't understand your data, then it is very difficult to process AI. So in this presentation, I am showing some basic small experiments how we are bringing a social media data, like social media data. Guys, don't afraid. Actually, I don't hack any your accounts, but we have our team. They have ethical hackers where we can implement AI and digital ethical things, and we crawled some data from Indian scenario. Yeah. So my purpose of this talk is we can use AI to overcome corruption. We can use AI to make, like, for example, if a police officer misbehave with a woman, till now, are there anyone who punished with this? Yeah. If you go to a woman, go to a police station. So this is a big problem actually in society. Yeah. So if police misbehave with women, how to handle this guy? How to handle this police officer? If a common man did the same thing, then we are implementing all the acts. But if an official police officer did the same thing, then he can escape, right? You people maybe face the same thing in your small village. If you come from a small village, even public, we are celebrating 80 years of independence, right? We are going to celebrate. If a common man go to a police station without paying any single paisa, are you sure can he get a justice? How many Indians are really confident about this? Is it possible can you provide a small tool which can help a poor man? Yes, of course. We can do it with artificial intelligence. I am showing some interesting things now. So see, now I'm going to give a brief description. Actually, in European Union, until 2020, they have very strict law. They have very, very strict rules. You can't use mobile record anything in public places, maybe some government official offices. But in after 2022, they make a lot of change. Hey, without public interaction, without public support, we can't overcome this corruptions and all these things. So they make some kind of amendments where they said, hey, citizen engagement must be there in all public offices. That means if you go to any public office, like in police stations or any revenue office, you can record anything. Okay, you can, if someone is asking, you can record that and submit to the government officials. They will take action immediately. So that's why they make from in new amendment citizen engagement. So even actually in Indian Supreme Court, they make police stations are public places. So you can record anything in the police station. I think there was a recent judgment from the Supreme Court as well. So these are the actually recent declaration from 2024. They wanted to implement in all Europe the Berlin declarations, where they are generating data from the real domain. Like, for example, how a corrupted officer trapping an innocent man. You don't ask, okay, give me some money. Yeah, he will do a different kind of, his way of talking is different. His way of eye contract is different, right? So is it possible to get all the data from the corrupted people? Of course, we did the same thing in our experiment, in our European Union project. Yeah, if you have such kind of data, immediately you can develop some kind of tools. If by observing the person way of speaking, by observing the person's eyes and observing his discourse in the speech, we can immediately track all the corrupted people. Yeah. So even some mobile apps, artificial intelligence apps where we are using to track these people record. How we can do that? So let's see, if you have a data, yeah, it is simply existing a data. Yeah. So, and the interesting thing is you have to connect this data with semantic web. By connecting this, you can generate knowledge graphs. Yeah, as I said initially, data, information, with this two, we can generate knowledge. Yeah. So let's see, to generate the knowledge graph, we have to use semantic web. What is knowledge graph? What is the relationship between me and the student who explained about data? Do we know each other? What is the relationship between us? Maybe he said that, no, sir, this is our first meeting. I don't know you anything. But I am sure we are very close. Yeah, he may be come from India. I am also from India. He may be speak Telugu language. I can speak Telugu. Okay. Maybe his mother or parents, someone from Andhra. I am also from Andhra. So classes and subclasses. So all the information can gather and generate how these entities are connected. Yeah. So guys, one thing, if you see the industry, yeah, people are saying data science, yeah. So a lot of companies are spending a lot of money to maintaining the data, yeah. So my question now, so that you and me now we are connected with internet, right? Now I'm talking here in my computer. You guys are also using, maybe when I am talking, you may be using your mobile phone to chat with your friends. Yeah, only friends, not girlfriends. Yeah, okay. So that means directly or indirectly, every individual connected with the internet. Yeah. So instead of using your own database in your servers, is it possible to use www World Wide Web as our common data bank? Yeah. So if you use World Wide Web as a common data bank, okay, I want to get all the information about these corrupted people. Can I maybe from Hyderabad? Is it possible to extract the data from the web? If public have brave heart, it is possible. If someone asks about corruption, someone asks about money, record it and upload it in social media, which is www, then we can gather all the information. Yeah, we are believing democracy, right? Our voting system, we are electing, okay, he is going to be our MLA or something. In the same way, in the democratic way, we can also caught the people who are corrupted. So if 10 people, 20 people said that, hey, this is the voice record, this is the photo, while this police officer is taking money from me and other people. If everyone posted this in social media, is it not possible to take action on him? So that is actually semantic web is one of the really good thing with semantic web. So if I ask a question, by seeing this, this is an example of knowledge graph. If I ask a question, who is Neil Armstrong? Okay, you guys will tell, okay, Neil Armstrong, okay, he's an astronaut and something. But I don't have time to read. Even our people don't have time to read the books. Yeah, everyone is busy in mobiles. So machine can generate a knowledge graph. Hey, you are asking about Neil Armstrong. Okay, Neil Armstrong is an astronaut. He's a person. Before getting to, it is extracting all this knowledge graph from internet. Yeah, so you have Wikipedia, DBpedia, and everything. From that, it is extracting and doing some kind of a graph. Okay, so he's an astronaut. He's a person actually. Yeah, all astronaut must be a person. Maybe in future, maybe robots. Yeah, so if he's a person, he's an astronaut. He must be a pilot. Yeah, if he's a person, he must have a birth date and death date. If he has a birth date, and he must born to a male and female, maybe some other parent, his parents. Can you see the graph extended again, like with a net? This is what actually knowledge graph. Yeah. If you said that, okay, Mr. Somsekhar Rao, the CA of Barkatpura, I want information about him. Yeah. If I ask the same question to our semantic web tool, it will extract, hey, these many people are saying he born so and so place and was joined here so and so. And I found some social media websites, they are saying he's corrupted or something. Machine will generate everything with hyperlinks. It will show that link for that. So this is how knowledge graphs helps, semantic web technology helps to better society. So semantic web is nothing but extension of the current web. Yeah. So, but in current web, you have only data. Yeah. But by using the semantic web, you are taking the current web, like current web means www, your university website, your Facebook, your Twitter, everything is connected with a link, right? So from that, you are extracting the data and implementing natural language processing and generating the knowledge graph. This is actually very interesting topic. So this is actually a semantic web cake, which is called as a semantic web technology stack. You can see here we have a normal HTTP, like web links, and XML or HTML, and after that we are converting this your all websites into a machine readable format, which is called as RDF, which is nothing but resource description framework. Okay, it is like a sentence. Okay, after that we are converting this into ontology, which is nothing but a semantics. Yeah, so by combining the syntax and semantics, ontology and RDF, machine can understand all websites, even your Facebook and your Twitter, everything. Even machine can generate a graph. Okay, if like maybe you have a faculty from your department, what is his history? He may work in different kind of organizations. It will generate a graph. Yeah, for that we have a query language, which is particularly for semantic web, which is called as Sparkle. Okay, Sparkle means structure. It is like SQL, but only for semantic web stack. Then there is a security issues like, okay, I posted something only for my group. Then your semantic web tool can't access that data. So data privacy issues. I posted something for public. Then if you post some data in public, everyone has a right to use the data. Yeah. So then your tool can crawl everything. So this is actually some art information. For example, if you want to see information about Mount Everest, I am not going to the link because it takes some time. What is Mount Everest? Is it only a mountain, or are there any more information? Semantic web helps into that one. Okay, this is actually a simple example of how we are converting semantic web into RDF. Mount Everest, it is a type, it is a mountain. Okay, it is a Mount Everest, it is an English name. So it has some kind of height, it is actually, why the Mount Everest is called as Mount Everest? Because there was a Surveyor General of India, British Surveyor General, George Everest. He made everything, the geographical mapping things. So that's why they kept his name to the Mount Everest. Yeah. So who is this guy? George Everest. He is actually a person. If he is a person, he has a birth date and a death date, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is actually a RDF for Mount Everest. So this is a schema, how a mountain is connected to a person. Okay. This is actually, yeah. So if you have these things, you can do really wonders. So now I am going to show you a small experiment where Germans caught a fraud person, a fake things. Actually, this is actually, I think if you are reading newspaper, I think there is a news in Indian newspaper, I think Eenadu and Andhra Jyoti and some other newspapers 10 days back. Behind that, our team worked approximately 4 to 5 years. Yeah. So there are some kind of fake universities. They don't have any. Building, no faculty, nothing. Only a website. Okay. Maybe some of your faculty know about this fake German university, Indo-Euro Sync, all these things. Yeah. So how we caught it actually? So we know that he is doing fake things. Yeah, he's going to India and said that, hey, come Germany, we will give jobs and internships, blah, blah, blah. But he's selling all these people, taking money and selling to non-German recognized institutions. People are coming here and there is no fellowship. Students have to spend the money, and get lot of students are getting depression. For Indian students who think that, okay, in foreign countries everything is fine and something, and they're cheated by this type of um, consultancies and something. Yeah. So you can see here where is the crowdsourcing. So we posted this initially. Actually, you can see he has we conduct a survey. So how many people attended his sessions? So he claimed from government, Andhra Pradesh government, skills government, 31% people don't know about him, but he claimed money from his training to the government. Who are this 31%? Okay, and he said, you can see he is offering 100 open positions in BTech students apart from dual studies. How it is possible? In Germany, it is very difficult without knowing a basic German language, unless you have a good experience in skills. But people are he's trapping all the poor people. And then crowdsourcing, we posted about this into the public groups, and public asked this guy, hey, you said that AP government is supporting you. So then he was not able to answer all these questions. Okay, just in internet, you can see Indians in Germany, and he's posting, okay, we are showing some foreign people photos and trapping the poor students, and finally he's getting huge business. But there is no even a single building, and there is no even a single faculty for this German university or Indo-Eurosync or whatever. Moreover, he's spoiling German name. So now we caught this guy, and government is, of course, Indian government, he is managing all these things with bribe, but here the German government is really taking action on this person. Even you can see he said that he has associated with previous higher education government, and he said that, okay, Andhra Pradesh government is with us, with this German university. It is collaborating with DAD. DAD is the prestigious German research institute, and DFKI, German artificial intelligence. And if he posted something in his Facebook, machine is observing his post. Definitely this is a agency, right? Definitely it want to advertise all these things in public domain. They won't make it a small group. So our AI observe that, hey, he posted something, the keywords are DFKI, DAD, and collaboration. He said in the post, these people came to Germany and did MOU with DAD, and they visited DAD and something. The machine automatically write an email to the DAD website. So DAD has its own contact details, right, in the website. So we are converting all the websites into RDFs. So in RDF, there is a tab, contact, and there's the email. Machine will generate your email and send to the DAD and all the organizations which were mentioned by this guy. And okay, do you have any collaboration with this person? They said that, you can see, they said that we don't know about MOU with German university or all these things. Yeah. So this is how literally AI is observing all his posts and secretly sending emails to all the persons. Even he's kept some of the public university professors, and make a statement, okay, they are collaborating with this guy. And machine sent an email to the public university professor's email address, and the professor said that, look, he don't know about this guy. So this is how AI help to society. Yeah. So the other thing is, as I said, he is posting a number of things. How to convert that data into machine readable format or knowledge extraction. That is really interesting thing. Yeah. Remember, guys, I want to say one thing. Don't get afraid of artificial intelligence and robotics and all these things. Okay. It is nothing but, imagine from your childhood. Go back to your roots. How you are observing your society. How you are observing your communicating your mother tongue. As a small baby, how you are improving your communication technology, how you are improving your communication to your neighbors. Yeah. So exactly, we have to implement the same thing. Yeah? In cognitive science, people used to say, the cognitive scientist always says that the children first learn the repeated sounds like tuck, 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 or something repeated sounds. So how your brain is learning the society, how your brain is acquiring knowledge from the society. Yeah. So in the same way, if you communicate with machine, it will learn. It is very easy. There are many people who have been working for English. I really request, particularly Indian students, forget about English while you are doing some data analysis and while doing with some kind of AI applications. Don't use English data. Of course, you can use it, but try to do something for your mother tongue. Bring technology to your mother tongue. Yeah. Our professors, when she's introducing me, she said that I got Erasmus Mundus fellowship. Do you know why I got it? Just because in 2024, with my supervisor, my professors, Garapata Umamasrao Garu from University of Hyderabad and IIT, IIIT Hyderabad, we developed the first parts of speech tagger in Telugu language in 2024. Yeah, that was, by the time there is no tagger, parts of speech tagger, right? If this is my book, what is the meaning of the book there? Is it a verb, booking a ticket, or a noun, book the ticket? How can you teach this to machine? Yeah, do develop nice tools in your mother tongue. Yeah, so this is actually, there are different hypotheses to do that. Even you can see in 1997, the World Championship is a machine. Yeah. So Deep Blue, you might have heard about AI tool. It happened in 1997. So that is that they're advanced in English and other European languages. But what about our Indian languages? Oh, we need only English, right? Yeah. Guys, one more thing, actually, I would like to say, this is a context. If you don't respect your mother tongue, if you don't respect your culture, you are going to be slave. That is really sure. Yeah. First of all, if you think that even though your education medium is in English, your brain it is proved, cognitively it is proved, actually cognitive science point of view, your brain think in your local language abstractly. Okay, so that is actually, language means not only your sounds, not only a few words. Language, your mother tongue, is in your DNA. Yeah. If you speak, someone said that, hello sir, how are you? Okay, it is fine. If someone speak that, era emra gatlano, it touches your heart, right? The same thing can apply while you are learning or while you are doing some technology implementation, some technology in your local language, for at least to your mother tongue. Yeah. So these are the different kind of, I am seeing the time. Yeah, there are different kind of applications. If you develop lexical resource, you can develop these tools: tagging, chunking, parsing, sense disambiguation, semantic role, co-reference, discourse. Then we can develop these things. So without, it is actually in a hybrid approach. Yeah, linguistics and machine learning both together, we can do that. But nowadays, even you don't need to develop all these things. I think a lot of people know about NLTK, Natural Language Toolkit. Yeah, already they developed that algorithm. Just we have to try and see how it is working or not. So if it is not working, how to improve the accuracy in that, how to teach that logic. That is actually really interesting. Yeah, as a mother teach to a baby how to learn the language. This is the simple application of this one. So now let's come to the point, man. Okay. Just, is it possible? Okay, maybe one student write a letter and kept it in the student pocket or a book. Is it possible to detect whether that letter is written by a male or female? Is it possible to detect, okay, approximately what is the age of that person? Okay, now I think you might have seen many fake Facebook IDs. Yeah, is it possible to detect? I am sure you guys have only one Facebook ID. I am sure that. Not many. Okay. Is it possible to detect whether that ID is fake or not? Yeah. Yes, of course. Data means not only in social media, data means not only text data. Your mouse clicks also data, your age, gender, religion, or everything is count under data. With this social media, I think now I am not able to access my Facebook. So if you see, search my Facebook with my name, Sri Ganesh Tottampudi. Uh, uh, we caught a IPS officer who has approximately, he's from Andhra, yeah, who has approximately uh, 15 to 20 fake Facebooks. If you see his friends list, yeah, this police officer has all the friends are girls. Why? Don't say that. Okay, oh sorry, actually he's IPS officer. He's very honest officer. So maybe someone created with his name. No, we can. That is also we can handle. Yeah, how he is getting each and every his recent activities. If it is a face account, he can't update each and every activity, right? So today I had a meeting with so and so person. It is not possible, and we can also say the his login details. So you can see here, as I asked a question, is it possible to detect whether it is a male or female? Oh, guys, this is not from my data. This is from this research paper. Yeah, as our thumb is unique. Yeah, this is unique, right? Thumb impression is unique. As it is unique, our use of vocabulary is also unique per person to person. Yeah, so if you detect male vocabulary is different from female vocabulary. Now your AI can detect, even though if you are a male, if you write a female letter, a letter with a female name, okay, to cheat your poor innocent friend, machine will detect this thing. Even machine can detect your age. You can see from the school to adult and old age. These are the most frequent words from British National Corpus data. So age is also machine we can detect. See, our poor guys are sick. This is the nowadays actually our innocent poor guys don't have freedom. Yeah, so girls they have a lot of freedom if they see this poor innocent Mike. This is actually real postman. Actually, by the way, I want to say this is actually we developed it like in 2012. I was in Norway, in University of Norwegian University of Science and Technology. So then in Scandinavian countries, people used to get depression. Yeah. So is it possible to detect whether the person is in depression or not? So he always posts some kind of Twitter and Facebook social media. So machine can read that and say that, hey, probably this guy is in depression. It will send an alert to the social organizations and police. Police can track their IP and he will send him to the hospital or some psychological treatment. So to understand the tweets, first machine can read the whole statement as a human. But in human, we have a cognition. See, but machine, we are not writing the full sentence, right? We are writing in shortcut. We can see here, my name is Mike. I have been depressed, but he didn't write I have been. He said that I be. Yeah. In your WhatsApp chatting, you're saying I kick you. You are not writing I kick you. You are making I maybe some mojo with a punch, and we are writing you. So there's no standard structure in that language. Guess now next really in very dominant research is actually how people are communicating in mobile or other chatting apps. That everyone is creating its own artificial language. So this is actually a nice tool which we developed in 2012 for Norwegian government. This exactly where we are doing semantic web AI and understanding data. What people are talking about your college in public? Is it possible to get the data and do some kind of, why don't you develop a app? Huh? So this is actually, I want to show this thing as a demo, but later on we'll see. Okay. As I said, this is actually a tool where we develop to where we caught all the abusing things of Andhra Pradesh police in social media. Yeah, but we need public support. We need, so this is when we post it. Okay, if you have anything related to Andhra Pradesh police, record it and send it to us. People will send all this. Just I shown you only 1 or 2 slides. Remember me in Andhra Pradesh police system, 70% police have illegal activities and illegal affairs. It is very sad to say, but it is the truth. Even you can see, we called from our Germany to the SP. Initially, he used to come and discuss. When I am showing all the evidence, he was even not pick up the phone. This is the power of crowdsourcing, public responsibility. Okay, use your technology, generate data, and keep it in public. Then only you can get better society. You can see the charting. A poor woman from Palnadu, she went to police station and asked some kind of help. And next night, the police officer, the CI, he's one guy is, I think he is CI, one guy is some constable. Yeah, he's trying to trap her. Okay, so I don't want to, but this is a fact. Okay, even this is how we collected data and we are analyzing the data. Even you can write, machine is writing an emails directly to, you can say how many people are there here. All national human rights, National Women Commission. Okay, so automatically it will take the data. If you find something, it will send everything to all the people around human rights and everything. Yeah, this is how we can, this is actually a machine generated emails to Women Commission in Andhra Pradesh. But don't ask me whether they react or not, but make it public. Oh, then people say, oh, why Women Commission is not reacting on this? I will tell one interesting thing. As I said, 70% policies have illegal affairs. Yeah. At the same time, in Andhra, I am from Andhra Pradesh. So I started this 5 years back due to some kind of a small, one of my student from Tirupati. So due to these issues, I started, why don't I use my knowledge for this purpose? Then I got some grant from European Union, and yeah, we are doing this thing. And one more interesting thing we found is, particularly in Andhra Pradesh agriculture department, right, agriculture department and thing, 30% people are having job, like contract jobs and all these things with fake certificates. This is also we caught with this type of public feedback. Yeah, this is how a small presentation. I really request everyone, try to develop tools in your mother tongue. Yeah, everyone is doing English and other thing. Why? Fine. There are a lot of people. Whole world is working, or the foreign countries are working on their languages. So if you see Germany, a small country like Andhra Pradesh, maybe okay, but why they are very strong? Even in Germany, you can't study until your master's in English medium. So, but in our country, from school we are studying in English. So of course you learn English, but wherever you are implementing some kind of technology, whatever you learn, your technology should reach a common man. If you make that bridge, then you are the hero. You are the like another maybe Steve Jobs. Yeah. So think about technology implementation, think about tools development in your mother tongue. So thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope you are really hungry. So if you have any questions, you can contact me. My email address is there. At the same time, our university from SRH, we are always welcome. If you are really interested student, if you show us, okay, I am unique, I am not all, with like other students, we are very happy to offer internships and thesis works, and even financial support for your masters at the university. We have really huge fundings, and our university is located in whole Germany. So we have around 8 or 9 big campuses in whole Germany. So you can contact me if you have any questions. You can contact me at any time. So this is my, you can see my email address. I'm here. Yeah, you can contact me via Gmail. I hope at least one or two students get motivation to develop some nice tools in technology, even in agriculture. Yeah, we developed agriculture app of in Telugu language. Okay, I always ask my father, why you are using this? I mean, I am from Repalle Mandal, the same thing. Why you are using this fertilizer to this crop? He said that my father always said that, okay, shop person has given this fertilizer, I don't know. Then so shop person used to give unnecessary fertilizers. So this is how, at least try to develop small tools for your parents as well. Okay, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, you can ask me and keep in contact.
Ganesh Garu, good afternoon to you. It was
Yeah, good
quite
afternoon, Andy.
motivational and very informative also. I just want to put forth one particular point here in VNR VJIT, especially the computer science department. The projects it happens to design is societal based. Those
Yeah.
projects which are really working for the society, they are awarded, and we do mention it at the annual day function as a motivation
okay.
for the students. So
Yeah,
here it was very much, your speech was very much in line with our thought process. And we do look forward to collaborate with you in
Yeah, sure.
developing such projects. The students are quite enthusiastic. There are many such projects wherein from their day-to-day activity, which they have developed into a product helping their own parents or the grandparents. That's how they work for. We do
Yep.
adopt the neighboring villages wherein we can be the service providers and the solution providers also. So it was
Yep.
nice listening to you, and the same which I convey from the student side also. Let me
Oh,
pick up
thank
some
you.
questions from them if I'm not troubling you for a long time.
Yeah, no, not a short issue. Yes, yes. This is actually 8:30 for us, for me,
Yeah,
so not
please,
issue.
students, you can ask for the questions.
Hello, sir.
Hi,
One,
hello. Yeah.
one thing that intrigued me about the semantic web tool is that you would extract content from the web, and the statement that you made that everyone has the right
Yeah.
to use the data if provided it is public.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but we've seen many cases in the past that YouTube is banning OpenAI from using YouTube videos to train the data, and also music companies suing AI companies such as Suno. So how do we tackle these copyright things, even though they
Yeah,
are
in
public?
music, yeah, sure. In music, actually, they have copyright issues. So, for example, you are developing a YouTube video, yeah. So, if you use some copyright music, then it is a crime. So, there is a copyright issues. But if I post something in YouTube, in Twitter, there's no copyright. If you post something in public, the Twitter has copyright on that, right? But if you said that it is you are posting in public, public means everyone has the authority to use the data. Of course, there may be a username privacy issues, but we don't need to username, but we need only the data, the text. So in Twitter, if they have some kind of issues, why Twitter is allowing to crawl the data? So there is no, if that data is for public, you can crawl the data, not at all issue. Even I think, do you know, if you have interest, go to YouTube and search for dial your SP. A program is there actually, a IPS officer propaganda program. So we crawled his data and we analyzed whether this SP is talking really true or not. Okay, so this is also we can analyze. Yeah, YouTube is giving the YouTube video in public, so we are running the YouTube video, and our AI is observing his facial expressions and his tone and his words. Yeah, if you are really cunning, you don't use such kind of words actually. That is cognitive logic. So machine is comparing all these things and making some kind of decisions on whether this person is talking honestly or not. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking on that, well, you just said that we could analyze the tone and things from just by crawling the data. So at what point do we stop? I mean, when you can say, how would we handle the privacy? And if we have to analyze, then where would you start? And who would you choose to analyze? So how would
Yeah.
we implement such a system, such as we are surveilling, we are putting in surveillance for every single person is not possible. So whom do we choose and how do we analyze that?
Yeah. So first thing is actually, I mean, since it is a BTech project or something, start with your class people. Yeah. If you see your neighbor guy, next student who stand here, by seeing his face, we can think that he is very hungry. Okay. So the see, here the problem is, start with make your small group of students and ask them, okay, talk a little bit in different kind of topics and collect the data and make a prototype on that. Then go to the, I mean, it needs some team, yeah, to particularly recording all these things. In your village, a lot of people are maybe, I mean, I did the same thing actually. Yeah, as I said, I'm from Repala, so there are some kind of real poor people from my village. Whenever they are going to police station, I used to make a team and said that, okay, whatever they are talking, just record everything. So if it is difficult, create a artificial data from your class people. Yeah. So train a prototype. If you have a prototype, but like for example, the tone detection and the sentiment detection, for English we have n number of tools, but I am not sure about for Telugu and maybe Telangana dialect. Yeah. So start a small data team and collect data from your maybe it is a dummy data, but start a prototype. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, sir. The questionnaire session is done. So throughout this discussion, I find that our frequencies do match very much. And we would also, with your help, like to give back something to the society. So I will get back to you with a formal letter so that both of us, both the institutes, they can work together. We shall sign an MOU with each other. And your
Yeah, sure.
cooperation is seek to see that the Telugu states are doing well. A corruption-free society can be provided with the help of our student fraternity and the staff.
Yeah,
We look forward.
sure, ma'am. Definitely, we can have a meeting after the session. Then after that, if you make some kind of MOU points like student exchange, faculty exchange, and so on, maybe after that, I can arrange a meeting with our vice chancellor, our university president as well. So let's. But the thing is, actually, I really want a real students who have some enthusiasm, particularly to do some passion towards AI and society related. Yeah.
At an initial stage, we can start off with some projects wherein you can be
Yeah,
the
sure.
remote guide for the students.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can
yeah.
take up to the next level.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Even there, we have some kind of calls from European Union, Erasmus Mundus, Indo-Euro joint projects calls every August we have in different domains. So we can also apply for that. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It was very nice listening to you. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for the patience and the time zone mismatch also. We look forward to work together further in future.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very
sir.
much.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Students, have a nice day and enjoy your day. Yeah. Bye-bye.